Hello, hello everybody, my pretties. Okay, that's weird. I am going to talk about the things I read in the month of May, which, you know, or not May, June. That is what is gonna be like today. Peter Pepper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Ha ha. So I'm going to talk about the books I read in the month of June, which, you know, as usual, slight struggle. I kind of forgot about the fact that I was going on a trip at the end of June when I made my June TBR. Things went kinda not as planned. Two reasons are very sad. Sad in different ways. The first reason is sad in a like, oh, poor little pathetic Rebecca type of way. Because the first book I said I was gonna read was The Catcher in the Rye. I completely forgot I said I was gonna read it. So I'm reading it now. I just started it and I'm actually really liking it so far. But the ones I actually read, shall I begin? I read Macbeth first by who else but William Shakespeare, and I fell in love with Shakespeare from this play. I was never a huge fan of Shakespeare in the past, but his words are what make it so amazing, and I fell in love with his words here, and the plot was even like intriguing enough. I kind of knew what was gonna happen, but like I wanted to watch it happen, which is kind of how things go. Beth is a tragic tale. But I think it's a really good read. It actually was surprisingly fast. I think I gave it like a 4 out of 5 stars. I'm gonna keep reading. This is the Barnes & Noble special series and they're really cheap. They're like $8 and it's just pretty, and so I'm gonna keep buying them. The next book I read is one that I had added on at the very end of my last video. The Trials of Apollo, The Hidden Oracle by Rick Riordan. Look at that cover! It's so beautiful. It's pretty. I was watching Prue's Project and she pointed out how well all of the books go together. All the Rick Riordan books. And it's so true, they all go together beautifully, even though they're all still an independent style a little bit. But the actual book was pretty cute. The characters, I find that Rick Riordan's characters are somewhat shallow. They tend to have like 1 or 2 deep things about them, but not like as deep as I would really prefer. And it is middle fiction or middle grade fiction, but I don't think that's a real excuse. However, he does a really great job of relaying mythology in the ancient Greek world, and I think it's worth a read from that perspective. The next things I read, this is where I kind of went haywire and I kind of stopped reading books for a little bit because I just needed a break. Needed a break for a hot minute. I read the first Nightwing, immediately went into the second one. They're amazing. And then I was on a comic kick, so I got the first Spider-Gwen. Spidey-Gwen does whatever a Spidey-Gwen does. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Good. Probably will read at least one more. I'm definitely finishing out Nightwing though. I mean like 5 out of 5 stars. So the next book I found is Joe Snug from Thatcher Joe on YouTube. Well, it's not Joe Snug, it's by Joe Snug. And it is username Evie. I didn't realize he was making a sequel to this book because I didn't know there was a first one. And then when he mentioned he was making a sequel, I was like, bye. It was amazing. It's about a girl who goes and finds this world that her father created for her to help her sort of come in to like who she is and to gain some confidence, and it's a beautiful story. It's very obviously British and I love that about it. The first thing you do when you come home from school is like you prepare for tea. I love that. There were just some British phrases thrown in there because I mean the author is British and I'm slightly obsessed with British culture, so it made me happy from that perspective. So the last book I read is super easy. Well, not the last book, but we'll go into that tragic story in a minute. Like, so tragic. But anyway, the last book I read is The Reptile Room by Lemony Snicket, the second in the series of Unfortunate Events. And of course it was absolutely fantastic. Drawings are beautiful and the book is beautiful and I just love everything about them. So the last thing that I was reading wasn't on my June TBR at all, but I had, you know, inspirational moment to want to read it, and I kind of lost it. I was traveling back from New York. I was reading The Lord of the Flies while I was there, which I love, by the way, which makes it all the worse. My plane had been delayed. I had to wait for 8 hours for my next plane, but honestly, that's not what bothered me the most. What bothered me the most was that I lost my book. It felt like I had lost a child. Maybe I have a problem. Who here would not react the same? I lost a book that I was a fair way into and liked So that's what I read this past month. I didn't get to the fourth Harry Potter though. I've read it before and it's amazing and I still want to reread it, but it's taking me forever to reread that series. I think it's because I want to read new things for you all, since, you know, I just feel like you expect it. I don't know. I have such a huge to-read shelf. It's like not one shelf. And then I didn't finish 11/22/63, but I already told you I make no promises with that. When you set a book down, it's so hard to pick it back up sometimes. It's a good book. I don't know what's wrong with me. I have short hair now, by the way. It's all like light and short and airy and does whatever it wants. But I love it. Okay, so that's all for now. Cheers.